Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning, and it's really thick snow outside. I'll show you later. It is 11:30, and I've got everything done that needs to be done in the house, which I'm pleased about because the weekend was just a washout. Grief must take many forms. I've had things happen in my life where I've thought I've been upset, where I've thought I've experienced loss, where I thought maybe I was grieving for something. No, I've never experienced anything like I'm experiencing now in missing my husband. I have to come to terms with the fact that although we were married for 55 years, we had 20 years before problems and illness and dross started affecting our life. And I wasn't the best prepared. I fell down many occasions, unforgivably. But I have to learn to live with it because I have to learn to live alone now. And whilst I'm saying I'm going to, refurbish the house a little bit, revamp the house, it's my mind really that needs refurbishment. It's my mind that needs an injection of colour rather than all this grey fog that's bringing me down, rather than all this trudging through a river of mud just to get through the next half an hour. Yesterday I wasn't even aware what day it was because I spent Saturday in bed. I spent Sunday in bed. I didn't shower. I'm being brutally honest here. The only thing I did was get up to go to the bathroom, wash my hands and face and brush my teeth and make a cup of tea. Took a bottle of juice up to bed with me and didn't really look on the internet. Browsed a little yesterday, but no. I was just so enthralled to this mind-numbing paralysis that is grief, is my grief. I know that, I remember when my mum, she became agoraphobic, and it was after the Birmingham bombings, which some of you may remember, and the Irish were blamed, and of course my mum had a broad Irish accent, and after the bombings, Mum went out shopping to a local store, and she opened her mouth to ask for, I don't know, vegetables, whatever it was, to be weighed, and a woman spat at her because of her accent. There was a lot of ill feeling at that time due to the bombings, and people were maimed, killed. People round the corner from my mother, the man lost a leg, but his girlfriend lost her life. And, feelings ran very high. But that woman spat at my mother, and my mother became agoraphobic. And the reason I tell you this story is because I used to try and get my mum to come out of it. Why don't you read? Why don't you do this? Why don't you just come up? Why don't you come round to my house? Admittedly she did, but come round to my house once. Ours was the only wedding that Mum went to. She didn't go to any of the other weddings. So we were highly honoured. She loved Alfie, as everybody did. But I thought that Mum could pull herself out of it. If only she tried, she could pull herself out of that depression or whatever it was. I thought she could mind over matter. No, you have to be there. You have to experience it. If somebody had come and offered me, I don't know, a few £1,000 just to get out of bed, get dressed and come downstairs yesterday, I wouldn't have been able to do it. That's grief. And that's what I've got to come to terms with, and that's what I've got to learn to live with until I'm called and Alf comes for me, which I know he will. I feel I'm living on borrowed time, and that in itself pleases me because the clock's ticking and all I want to do is to be with him again, if that makes sense. But in the meantime, yeah, inject some colour into my house, inject some colour into my mind, and try to focus on what Alf would have wanted me to focus on, which is our children and grandchildren. There's no accounting for grief. There's no advice I could give anybody because we're all different. You know, it's like with religions, we're all different and we're all on different routes, but to the same place. That's how I always think of it. And we're all connected, we're all linked. Maybe we should all start to try and be a little bit nicer to each other. Maybe that in itself would help. I don't know. I'll be back later. I'm waiting for this lady to come with a chair for my bedroom that I've ordered off Etsy, so I'll come back on and show you that and show you the snow outside next door. The kids built a snowman, but they've knocked it all down, otherwise I would have showed you that. That would have been a good way to expend some energy for me, get out and build a snowman and take my mind off anything, everything. I'll be back later. I hope I haven't pulled you down at the start of the week. Let's all try and have a good week, shall we? I'll be back later on. Bye-bye.